Okay, guys, today we have a fresh new podcast, and I'm really looking forward to doing this podcast today because I think I have so much to talk about on this topic. So I'm not going to give you a big down introduction of how we got there and what's happening. We're just going to go right in. So let's go. So one of my friends shared with me this Instagram account, and I've had mixed feelings about it all. So this Instagram account is basically, I guess, a parody to the coaching and spirituality world. And I'm not here to debate the goods or the bads or my opinion on that. I am, however, going to talk about how it's triggered me and how the reaction I've felt from watching some of that material. And I am not here to judge or give my opinion on any of it, and I'm not here to share names or talk about any of that type of stuff. But I am going to talk about how it's reflected on me, and that's what today's podcast is about. Is my reaction to things like this, and possibly other things as well. Now, I'll just give you a bit of an example so you understand the type of content on this account. You know, I don't know, if you are in the spirituality or coaching world, you would have heard someone mention container. You know, being in this container is magnetic, it's magical, blah, blah, blah. When you're in the right container with the right people, so many things can happen. And I use this word a lot. I have used this word a lot, and I'd probably use the word again. But one of the things that was on this account was her actually talking from a physical container, like a Tupperware container, which is quite funny in hindsight. But that's the kind of humor is there's a level of making fun of some of the words and some of the tactics that are seen in that industry, I guess. There's probably a level of truth to some of the things that are spoken about and sort of made fun of. But for me, it was interesting because as soon as I started watching some of the content, it was like it hit me in three different ways. It was the, oh my God, you are such a bitch. How can you say that? That is so rude. As well as, oh my God, that's what I do. Like, I say that. Oh my God, I believe in that. As well as, oh, okay, yeah, that's true. You know what I mean? Like, there was these different layers of triggering that occurred. And it was interesting to me to see how I reacted to it. Because at first it was like you're in these different elements of shock and like, wait, what? All at the same time of, oh my goodness, hang on, that's hurting me. Oh, nope, but that's also funny. Oh my God, but that's so true. And it's a weird place to be when you can watch or read something that can trigger you in multiple ways at once. I make no joke that I know me right now, I think in circles. I can literally see many sides to many things at the same time. So if you ask me to take a firm hold into a choice on this side or that side of the fence, I would struggle in being able to do that because I do honestly believe that there is so many sides to every bit of knowledge or questions or beliefs or understandings, and I use these words a lot. It would probably make great content on that lady's side about using these words, but that's not the first time that something's triggered me. I know that there was also, it was a TikTok account and it was about fitness, and they said something about, well, it was a swear word, but the only way not to be this swear word was to not ever use the words energetic vibrational frequency. And I was like, it's literally my whole thing. Like, that's the only three words that I love more than anything. But I just use everything as a tool for me to see, ooh, what's happening there? It's like if someone said, I don't know, if they said, I like ice cream, you're not going to react to it. You're not going, well, normally, I don't really like ice cream that much, but, you're not normally going to be triggered by someone talking about something that either isn't something that you strongly believe in or embody, or if it was something that could warrant a further look or something that may need to be investigated, in case you had any shadows or beliefs or stories, etc., that were holding you back. So in a way, I kind of like it when these things come up so that I can sort of look at it and go, that's really interesting, because for me, what I use a lot right now is, well, first of all, how does my body react to that statement or to that video or to those words that I've just read? Like, that's where my first response is always, I will feel it in the body. If there's an emotion attached to a thought or belief, I will feel it in my body. And that will be the case for most people. You will feel it in your body, and it could be anywhere in whatever way, depending on what scenario, what reactive experience your body has created based on that thought or idea or memory. So I will always feel it in the body, but I've come now to that stage where I have done so much work on healing the reaction, the physical reaction from my body in relation to emotions and thoughts and memories, that sometimes it's not in the body anymore. Sometimes the reaction just comes as a thought, as a resonance or an echo that's still there in my mind, as a sequence that is remembered from my subconscious of going, oh, that's right, when we think about this, or when we are faced with this type of situation or this type of stimulus, this is how we react. And I will sometimes check in and see that, okay, there's no reaction in my body, which means I'm no longer holding an emotion to it. So why am I being triggered? Where is the trigger coming from? And sometimes it will be from my thought only, which is like, okay, so we are just holding on to the memory of how we used to react. And once I am able to identify that, we can remove that and work on that, so that when that trigger comes up, it's like that whole belief or story or whatever it is now gone. And this is some of the work that I have been doing over the last few years, is really focusing on finding the different layers and the different levels of where we are holding these things that are triggering us. And it is definitely in the approach of using the whole mind, body, soul, where the reaction from our body or from our mind or at a soul level needs to be looked at whenever it sort of arises. And sometimes it won't always be in one place. Sometimes it won't be in all the places at once. Sometimes it could be a combination of some of the others. But the point of my rambling here is that it was just interesting watching some of this content and seeing in the ways that it triggered me, because when I first started watching it, of course, the first thing is you're going to judge it and you're going to apply it to yourself. So first of all, you're going to look at it and go, oh my God, how can she say that? How can she do that? Oh my God. And then it's, she must not have had much success in the coaching industry, or she must be doing this as a sales tactic or a way to get more followers. And then there's also the level of, but now she's saying things that she's making fun of. So does that mean that that's not true for me anymore? And so it can bring up a lot of different questions, but in a lot of different ways. And of course, the conclusion of me sort of looking at all of that is, well, there is no conclusion really. I mean, we are all entitled to have our own opinions and speak our own voices and say whatever it is we want to say. But I really think that we can use those things instead of a place for us to judge or to compare ourselves to, is more of a way to work on where are we reacting to it. Because it was good for me to clean up some of those things that may not have been as tight or as healed or as unshadowed as I would have liked it. And even though as someone who's pretty good at most things now, it was good to see that there was still some residual resistance just based on that, because it's very easy for some people to find something that they believe in and that they really want to embody. They want to share with others, they want to help others, they want to teach others. And then when someone comes up against them saying something different, they're so solid in their belief and their understandings that, they're unshakable. You can't rattle them and say, no, that's not right. Whereas for me, because of my circle thinking, I sometimes find it difficult to really lock into a certain set of beliefs and say, this is 100% true no matter what, because I don't believe anything actually is. And that is why it can be a little bit difficult and a little bit more triggering when you may be currently talking about something like, for instance, if I was talking about, oh, we're all an energetic vibrational frequency, and then this person is going, I'm an energetic vibrational frequency, and you're like, oh, how dare you make fun of me like that? So it can be a little bit harder to hold on to your beliefs when you are fluid in your beliefs. And that is something that I find it really hard to try to explain. I find it hard to understand it myself, but I know that this is the truth of my existence, is that I can see all truths at the same time about one thing, because I do not see, this is a truth that I have, is that I do not believe that there is only one truth. And that in itself is an actual truth, which is quite contradictory in what I'm actually saying. But it's only because of the experiences that I've had and the seeing things in different light, in different emotions, through different experiences, through different people, through expressions of different people, that I can really see how there are so many different beliefs that we hold on to, that it has to be a truth, that there has to be more than one. I don't see how, being a spiritual person and going through all the stuff that I've been through, that there is not a way that there is fluidity in our knowledge and our beliefs and our understandings, and that there cannot ever be one only way towards something or one only truth to our existence. I don't believe that is a possibility. There has to be multiple ideas of our own realities that we can all choose to believe and that we adhere to, because once people have their own beliefs and their own stories and their own ideas, they are then able to draw onto them and to use them to drive them forward towards their goals and towards the things that they actually want, instead of sort of loosely trying to believe in so many different things at once like I do. It can be hard to find that footing. It's like walking on quicksand, where all that sand still exists and all together it's making up this big sand pit, but when we're standing at it, there's no solid footing, because there's still that belief of that fluidity of our existence. In a world where I fully believe that we are energetic vibrational frequencies in whatever way that looks like, there is no way that there is solidity to who we are and what we're a part of. Because in my eyes, that would make no sense if we all existed part of just one idea or one thought. To me, that it just doesn't make sense. But this is what I'm talking about. This is my belief. And I know people will disagree with me and have their own beliefs, but collectively and together, all these different beliefs that we have do create a solid belief in a way, even though there is still fluidity between the differences of our beliefs and opinions and the stories and things that we hold on to. And I feel like I've just said that word so many times in this podcast, and I believe in full fluidity. Our lives are always expanding and growing as our knowledge changes. We don't just walk one simple path. We don't just follow a certain set of logical steps. I see us on these rotating circles that just keep spinning around, and we're on different levels of this circle, and we're jumping up and jumping on to new ones. And as someone who has vibrated out of what's perceived as the light grid and then into the dark grid and then out into my own reality of existence, where it's just an illuminating field of color and possibility and just pure creation. I can see where everyone is holding their beliefs and the reason why we need to hold these different beliefs. Because, I mean, how boring would it be if we're all exactly the same anyway, if we're all just following the same path and believing in the one thing? But it is within those beliefs. Those beliefs are what are driving our life right now. So the only thing that we can actually do is to make sure that those beliefs are the ones that we are holding on to for right now, and they are helping us to achieve the things that we really want and to get the things that we really desire and to create the joy and abundance in our life in the best way that we know how. And we can't do that if we're still holding on to things that are not allowing us to believe in an alternate or a better possibility. So I'll circle all the way back to the beginning of how I started this chat, was being triggered on different levels from content from someone else, which then allowed me to look at those beliefs and those reactions that I was feeling in order to see, well, how can I grow from that? How can I use that as a tool to get me to my next step, instead of us sort of, looking backwards and looking into the past and looking into the things we need to fix and heal. If we just move forward towards the things that we actually want and allow those things to come up as they do, be able to look at them and heal them and move through them and decide whether to hold on to them or not, whatever it is, we're consistently growing, we're consistently expanding. But at the end of the day, we're never going to get it wrong. As long as we are always working towards something, we're going to get there, whether it's right now or in a longer period of time. It is still part of our journey and part of our existence, but we're the only ones who get to choose whether we want to make it an enjoyable experience and something that we look forward to every day, or whether it's going to be something where we're sort of miserable and really sort of look at it as more of a chore or a hassle or something that we wish we could be better, when the truth is we hold all the power within ourselves, and it's only through our choice of deciding what our beliefs are that we are going to create the way we actually feel about the environment around us.